Good evening, and welcome to another episode of Tate Talk, where we aim to provide credible information on health, wealth, and growth just for regular folks. I'm so excited for this week's episode. I have an outstanding guest on with me today. Today's topic, if you've been watching and you've been following, is prevention is paramount. Okay, we're going to get into a lot of very interesting information here about health and some preventive maintenance and things like that. If you recall, in our first episode, I even talked about how many diseases are preventable with healthy habits, aka a healthy lifestyle, right? I also reminded you that I am not a medical professional, so today I brought a little backup. All right. So before I get into that, though, before I introduce my guest, I want to talk a little bit about Black home ownership. You see, today starts the first day of the NARAB Midwinter Conference. If you don't know who NARAB is the National Association of Real Estate Brokers. It's the oldest Black trade association in America, and it's all about real estate for us. Okay. So what is so interesting, every time I attend this conference, I get some information that is just mind blowing in two different ways. Some is mind blowing, like, wow, that's great. The future looks promising. And then there's like mind blowing, like, wow, the disparities and the obstacles set up against some of us are very, very large. And we need to find some means to kind of get around them. So one, I just want to talk about a little bit about the issues, the state of Black housing in America. Okay. That is a report that is provided by the National Association of Real Estate Brokers. And the last one come out was in 2020. So this article is on the narab.com website. If you're interested in that, it's nareb.com. Check the website out, but it was issued in a news release. It says issued at the 2020 edition of the State of Black Housing in America report with a stark warning. Without major changes in public policy, restructured mortgage lending criteria, increased down payment assistance, and an extended forbearance period needed by homeowners experiencing severe financial burdens resulting from the pandemic, Black American homeowners will continue to lag, and wealth building plans will remain delayed, severely diminished, and simply out of reach. That is the statement coming from NARAB, October 27, 2020. And you wonder why they say it sounds so depressing and like we're just being held back and things, and it just seems so negative, right? Let me read some of these stats to you guys, okay? The Black population in the U.S. is concentrated in major cities for the most part. 62% of Blacks are concentrated in 20 MSAs. That's metropolitan statistical areas, okay? So in 2019, 25.6% of the Black population resided in areas where the median house price is above that for the U.S., which was $250,000. What that means is that only 25% of Black people could even afford the average median price of a home. Only 25%. And that's the average price of the house, the average price of homes selling across the country. Another statistical point. Home ownership rate for Blacks who graduated from college is only 3.2%. Higher, let me finish that, 3.2% higher than that of white college dropouts. So we're only 3.2% higher than white high school dropouts in home ownership. That's simply sad, guys. Black homeowners are less likely to have a college degree. In 2018, 53% of Black mortgage borrowers obtained an FHA or VA loan compared to 23% of white borrowers. And these stats are they are just hard to believe sometimes, but I see it every day. I work in the industry, so I will see it, you know? Now, while the second quarter of 2020, Black home ownership rate was only 47%, reported by the U.S. Census Bureau. That was last year. That represents a 16-year high. Woo! Yay. And just the year before that, we were at the same rates that we were in 1968 when they passed the fair housing law. Now, is that progress? Passed the whole bill and law about fair housing and fair housing rights, and we're in the same position. We haven't gotten better, not a lick. One time we did, but it was right before the crash when they were selling us all the predatory loans. That's when we got to 50%, whopping. That's the most we've ever had. That's the historic number. We need to break the 50% barrier. It's the biggest number we've had of Black home ownership, and it was at a time where they were giving us predatory loans. Okay. Now, I didn't come on here to do a doom and gloom episode today. I promise you. So here are some of the remedies that NARAB feels are going to help us get towards that goal of closing the home ownership gap. Okay. So one, they want to institute aggressive loan forbearance and credit reporting mandates to Black homeowners and potential home buyers from financial devastation due to the COVID-19 pandemic. They want to continue the CARES Act suspension of federal student loan payments, debt collection, and zero interest provisions. Reform the HUD 203K loan, which would be great for our community, especially in Memphis, where we have a bunch of blighted properties that are affordable. It's just the cost of repairs are not saved up by these families who would more than likely like to be in those neighborhoods. So a reform there. Require the opportunity zone funds to be directed to long-term residents versus investors. Oh my God, that's crucial right there. Opportunity zones are supposed to uplift and help the community and bring them back to become more vibrant. But most of the time, only investors are getting in there. And when they get in, it's all about the dollar. If that's the case, they're looking at overtime rents, and rent rates are already astronomical. So yes, opportunity zone funds to be directed to long-term residents versus just investors who want to put renters in those neighborhoods, which we know does not help those neighborhoods as far as valuation is concerned, and many other issues with that. They also want to alter the treatment of student loans to debt to income formulas to include the reported payment amount versus the entire balance. Student loans are an epidemic. If there is in our community, student loans are a problem. I'm just going to say that. We have more student loans than we have degrees. I'm going to say that. I know that's a fact. I don't even have to look it up. I know that's a fact. So just the point here is that there is some light at the end of this tunnel, guys. The thing is that people can become discouraged in this process and feel that it's impossible for them to be able to purchase a home, or they're just too timid or too scared to attempt or find out where they actually stand. I challenge you to do this. If you're not a homeowner already, call a realtor that you know. Me, I'd be happy to help you. But anybody, any realtor that you know, and tell them your situation and that you are interested in home ownership is a goal for you. I promise you, if you're working with a good realtor, they will sit down with you and put a plan together with you. They will help you find out if you are qualified. Don't be afraid to be told no. I know that's the biggest thing. A lot of people don't like the rejection. Sometimes you have to go through that just to get what's important. So just try is the message that I want to say here. If you're interested in purchasing a home and you don't know how close or how far you are, just try. Just try. I promise you it's not going to kill you. It's not. There are many things that we're going to talk about today that actually might kill you if you don't do some preventive maintenance, right? So this is about the maintenance of your wealth right now that I'm talking about, right? We're going to talk about preventive maintenance going into this with my guest coming up. But right now, this is about you guys. This is about you getting these home ownership rates up for the Black community. That's the only way we're going to close this wealth gap at all. And I'm gonna get off of that soapbox now. This is a great time now just to introduce my phenomenal guest. She is a doctor. This is Dr. Woodard is a physician, public speaker, author, health educator, and consultant in various healthcare arenas. Her passion lies at the core of preventive medicine, and she is committed to awakening consciousness in the field of healthcare and disease prevention. She's also developed teachings on several common chronic disease topics and also speaks to them in the community. With no further ado, I'd like to welcome my guest, Dr. Teresa Woodard. Dr. Woodard, hello. Welcome to the show.
Hi. Hello. Good to be here.
Glad you could join me. Really glad you could join me. I know you were backstage kind of listening to my rant there. I'm passionate about what I do, and I know you're very passionate about what you do as well.
We all have our soapboxes.
That's absolutely correct. That's absolutely right. So let me ask you, how long have you been in the medical field in the first place, and what drove you to even get into the study of medicine?
I have been in medicine for well over 23 years. I was an engineer before going into medicine. I had what I called my moment of temporary insanity and decided to go back to school to study medicine after going to school to study engineering and doing that for a while, but never turned back after I went into medicine and been doing that for going into the third decade now and still loving it. And that's just what I do. Love helping people. And that's just my thing. And that's where my soapbox lies within the health arena. So I feel you on the soapbox. Yeah.
well, I've got the red carpet rolled out for you today. So feel free to stand on that soapbox tall today. Okay.
Gotcha.
All right. So, you own your own company when you could be kind of working for another practice, right? So I'm an entrepreneur and I love other entrepreneurs. I think almost everyone I've had on the show so far has been an entrepreneur. And I'm gonna have to kind of diversify that maybe, but I do it for a reason, because a lot of them work in fields that they actually can have a job in, do have a job in sometimes, and still go and start their own practices and things. And I'm wondering what led you to want to venture off on your own?
Well, I decided to, and it's been pretty recent for me. I've been doing my own thing. It's been less than 5 years. I practiced prior to this what most people would consider traditional medicine, meaning you go to see your physician. So it's clinical medicine. It's what most people are used to seeing, whereas you go in, you see your family doctor, the family physician, the family primary care. That's pretty much what I was doing, say my last decade of medicine. I've worked in all types. I've done ER, I've done hospitalist, I've done occupational, but the last decade was the primary care type of medicine. And with this last decade, the majority of it was in rural areas. And so what it's really opened my eyes with is how much education is needed. Patient advocacy and education, health education is needed. And so with that, I kind of dabbled, did what we call moonlighting, where you do kind of extra work on the side. You use that money for vacations or whatever, Yeah. So I kind of dabbled in health consulting, where there are consulting companies out there where I would serve as a medical liaison for these companies, helping them with their hospital clients to help with the transition with the medical language and the medical jargon with their clients, their multi-million-dollar clients, to help them transition with that. And it kind of struck in me a spark to look into possibly doing my own thing in regards to business. But the full circle came around with really the health education part and really aiding my patients in understanding why they were on certain medications, why they needed to take this certain medication this time of day, helping to educate them more about their disease processes, because I felt that if they knew more about why they had to do something, they would be more compliant in regards to taking their medication and more consistent with it, because they understood the why and not just the here, take this pill, but, oh, this is why I have to take this in the daytime, or this is why I need to take this at night. And with them just having that little bit of understanding helped them understand their disease process and got them more engaged in their own health, which kind of put a spark into them to want to do more to become even healthier themselves. And so with that being said, that's really kind of where my passion lies, with helping people want to do more themselves and empower people to want to do more themselves, to decide and learn more of what to do after they leave me, after they leave the doctor. What can they do to continue to stay healthy or to maintain their health? Because once they leave me, they still have to go and live their lives. And so that really what drove me to form a business, the health consulting and the courses and write the books that I do, so that people can have something to use, as an adjunct between their visits from seeing me, or their other physicians that they have to see, something that they can use as a go-to to keep them out of the hospital. My goal isn't for you to come and see me every month. My goal is to actually, I feel I'm a good doctor if you don't have to come see me every month.
Absolutely.
Doctor, if you only have to come see me once or twice a year, then I feel I'm doing my job, You're
my type of doctor. I don't want to ever see my doctor ever. So I try to avoid it like the plague. I promise you I do. And I'm sure there are a lot of people like me, and that's not a good thing. I'm not bragging, but just is the thing, it's a mental thing. I know. In your bio, you said you're looking that you are looking to awaken the consciousness in the field of healthcare and disease prevention. What do you mean by that exactly? I know you kind of alluded to it a little bit in your last answer. What do you mean by that? It sounds like you're kind of not so much challenging the field, but trying to give them a little poke.
Well, yeah, that's a good question. Basically, I want people to think of their health first, everyone, and a lot of times when people think of health, they usually just think of the physical, physical health, their body. And health encompasses more than just the physical aspect of it. For instance, with this past year, with the pandemic and with COVID going on, COVID has alluded to and brought people to become more aware of their mental health, so now people are a bit more aware of physical health and mental health, but there's still other aspects of health. There's social health, there's environmental health, there's financial health, there's spiritual health, so there's more than just the physical health. And with awakening the consciousness in the field of health, meaning all of the aspects of health and not just your physical health, and bringing into awareness, more than just that one thing, because you have to deal with all of it, and it's all a part of you. So just making yourself more aware that your life is more than just, okay, this is just my body. Okay, I just need to take this pill, or I just need to eat this. No, you have the mental capacity of yourself that you have to think about. You have your finances, you have your spirituality, you have your social connections, and all of these things affect the wholeness, which is your health. So, that's what I mean when I say that.
Gotcha. Okay. All right. Listen, if you're just joining us, we're here with Dr. Teresa Woodard, co-author of The Breakthroughs. And matter of fact, let's get your contact. If you guys are interested in contacting Dr. Woodard, she be more than happy to talk to you guys with any of your concerns, or with any of her services as well. So please do shop if you need her. She does corporate training and all that stuff. We'll probably talk a little bit about that here in a bit. This is her contact information scrolling across the bottom of the screen. I'll leave it there for a bit. Now, we just talked about what you feel, how awakening the consciousness is, right? So are there things that regular folks can do in their daily lives to avoid some of our most deadly diseases, especially in the Black community?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. For instance, let's just talk about, the number one killer in the United States for both men and women, heart disease. Okay. Heart disease. That's it. Heart attack, stroke, number one killer, both men and women. It does not discriminate. It is even higher for, people of color, African Americans, Latino, people of ethnic descent, Latin people of descent, and African Americans, most definitely. And the risk factors for, heart disease, the majority of these risk factors are things that you can change, things that are reversible. So we're talking about blood pressure. We're talking about your weight. We're talking about if you're diabetic, so your hemoglobin A1C, that's that test that they do to check for your diabetes. We're talking about your total cholesterol. We're talking about your LDL, which is that bad cholesterol. All of these things are reversible processes. We're talking about if you smoke, that's reversible because you can stop. So the majority of the things that are considered extremely high risk factors for heart disease, which is the number one killer, again, for both men and women in the United States, are reversible things, which means are things that you can change yourself. So if you're not aware of what your values are, what your numbers are for these things, then you're already behind the gun. If you are aware and you haven't made the changes, then you're behind the gun. If you are aware, then that's a good place to be. Okay, because you are aware. If you're aware these numbers are bad, then that's still a pretty good place to be, because at least you know where you are and you know what you need to change. Now it's just a matter of setting the goals that need to be made in order to make the corrective changes so that you can start decreasing those risks, so that you can start stepping further away from heart disease versus stepping closer to that door to potentially putting yourself at risk for a heart attack or a stroke. Now, there are things that you can't change. You can't change if you're a man or a woman. You can't change how old you are. But there are so many things that you can change to, take you away or, potentially prevent or definitely decrease your risk from the number one killer that's killing both men and women, in the United States. So that's just one huge example of what you said are things that we can do to in our daily life to avoid killers, because it encompasses so much. That encompasses hypertension because of the blood pressure. It encompasses diabetes or pre-diabetes. It encompasses obesity because of the weight, so.
It's a lot, and it's just so, and those and the steps seem so basic, and I guess I think after people hear something so many times, it kind of falls on deaf ears after a while, right? How many times have we told people, get a little active, eat right? You do those two things, it could be found, very beneficial on your life long term, right?
Yeah.
So it's amazing how people. I mean, but at the same time, we live in a culture where everything's so fast. We got fast food, and nobody's cooking or preparing anything anymore. So, or we value time much more than we value like healthy choices and things like that. Which I understand time is our most precious value, but I think the quickest number two asset will be your body. Time is a huge asset, but then your body's next. It's got to be, right?
You would think.
Or vice versa. So, I mean, you should probably do body first, right? But anyway, so in your first book, your debut book, the Doctor Devotions, 1 month prescription, I think you kind of allude to some of those things that people could do on a monthly basis, or could you tell us a little bit about the debut book and how it kind of speaks to what we're talking about, the simple things that you could do?
Sure. So first book, I always keep them with me. So this is the first book, Doctor Devotions, your 1 month prescription. Basically, each chapter takes in a day of the month, and each chapter talks over 1 day of guidance, something that you can do or you need to stop doing, something you can add to your life, something that you can potentially take away from your life to guide you along a healthier step. One smart, simple doable goal to lead you toward a healthier life. So exactly, my debut book, my first book, I also have a workbook that goes along with it. Both of them can be found at my website. I also sell them on Amazon for people that are, Amazon fiends and get everything from Amazon. They're at Amazon as well. That can guide you along. It's a 1 month thing, 31 chapters, 31 days. You can repeat it. I don't do it with specific days, so you can repeat it, short month, long month, doesn't matter. And each month is a chapter. If you skip something, you can go back and do it again. The workbook does the whole month as well. But these are things that anyone can do, and it's about being honest with yourself. The workbook actually has challenges in it where you can write in, you can journal, you can share, you can tear pages out, that kind of thing. And the workbook is a true workbook size, because I like to write. So it's a full 8x10. The workbook is. The book is, novel size, but the workbook is a full notebook size type thing. And that's also on Amazon too. But yeah, exactly. People do tend to get overwhelmed, and people do like the, microwave effect of things. But I'm like, I want it done now, but it's like, I'd rather take my time and do something little bit by little bit versus not be around. I'm like, it doesn't matter how quickly something is, if you're dead, you don't have any time left. I'm like, let's just be real about it. It may take okay, let's talk. Okay, we're doing soapbox right now. So we're talking about the soapbox. Go. I'm doing one thing and then I'm gonna get off my soapbox. I'm gonna do one thing and then the other soapbox. So people come in, you come in, you have a patient, you gain 20 pounds, your blood pressure's high, your diabetes all out of whack, and you come in and it's been like this for 5 years, and you're seeing me for the first time, and you're upset, and you're mad because I'm not fixing it today. And you look at me crazy when I say, I can't fix it today. But did you break it all in a day? So you got to realize it took you 5 years to get to this point. So give me some time. Yeah. I'm not going to be able to fix what it took you 5 years. So you won't be. So if I can't fix it and I'm a doctor, in a day, then don't put that kind of pressure on yourself to expect yourself to fix it in a day. And it took you 5 years to get there. So if it took you 20 years, if it took you 5 years to gain 20 pounds, then don't expect to lose those 20 pounds in 5 days. It's going to take you some time to lose that 20 pounds. So don't put that kind of pressure on yourself. When you go to try and lose 20 pounds by yourself, so just kind of, you have to think, people do that to themselves. I got to lose 20 pounds. I got to lose it in 2 weeks.
Absolutely.
It took you 2 years to gain it. So is that healthy?
Absolutely not. And that's instant gratification. I think that's a side effect of technology a little bit. We want what we want right now, and absolutely. You made a great point. It didn't take you, 2 weeks to get here, and it's not going to take 2 weeks to get it off, and it really is about a lifestyle change, I think. You have to be committed to that in order for you to get to really see some real changes,
Small, simple, doable steps. And that way it'll be sustainable as well. Meaning once you do get the 20 pounds off, it'll actually stay off this time because you didn't just do some crazy fad extremist thing. You did it the healthy way. You did it a way that you're going to be able to continue to keep consistent for the rest of your life. You didn't just eat 3 cherries every other Tuesday and do burpees, and you know what I'm saying? Yeah. So you did something realistic and had a healthy, well-rounded diet, but still lost that weight.
Absolutely. How important is a plan to doing any of this stuff? Because we say, eat better and do this and do that. If you don't have it planned out and scheduled, I find it to be difficult. I try to work out consistently, right? And just with that alone, if it's not like on my calendar or I don't have a time that's scheduled for it, it's probably not going to get done. So can you talk a little bit about how a plan would work in this? The workbook sounds like it would be a great tool to help with some of that kind of stuff, but can you talk about putting a plan in place for that?
Sure. Yeah. A plan is definitely needed. I speak on plans in the book and the workbook itself. Actually, the first chapter in the book, I think, is called "It's Okay." And what that means is basically kind of like the introduction, meaning that it's okay because all of us, including myself, we've been on a diet or we've tried something before, or we said we were going to do something. We've slipped off the plan. We went to the party, we went to the wedding, we went on the cruise, we had the drinks with the pineapples and all the sugar in it. And it's okay. It's okay if you missed the day or you slipped off the plan, because the plan is important. The plan is needed. But then there are days when you slip off the plan or something happens, like you get sick, you get the flu, you get an illness, or your child gets sick or something happens, and it throws you off your plan. It's okay. You take that break. You don't beat yourself up, but when you can, as soon as you can, whether it be the next day or the next 2 days, if you need to rest or whatever, then you get back on the plan. You don't beat yourself up. You don't quit. You don't stop. But within the next day, once you recover or what have you, and you just start the process over. So it is okay. Plans are definitely needed. We speak on the plans in the book, but then also realize that it's okay. Sometimes things happen, but they say the S word happens, but then it's okay. You come back, you recover, and then you restart your process, at that next step and keep it moving.
That's right. That's right. Consistency is key, but if you miss a day, it's not the end of the world. Pick it up and keep on going. Keep on trucking.
Exactly.
All right. So we just talked about your debut book. I know you're excited about your upcoming launch. It's a conference and all kind of great stuff coming behind it. So congratulations on one, being a published author already, and then two, working on this big collaboration. Tell us a little bit about your new book, The Breakthroughs.
This is awesome. So it's like, oh my God, how many of us is it? It's about, I think it's well over it's about 24 of us. It's authors, both men and women. And the book is a collaboration of authors, both men and women. We each have our own chapters and we each have our own story. We're sharing stories of battles that we've had to overcome and how we've broken through, how we've overcome in our challenges. Different varied stories. Of course, mine will speak in regards to something centered around health, but different people, different topics. We're talking everything. There's someone in there that may be talking about finances. There's someone in there that's doing a spiritual thing. So the book is, for all walks and talks. It's just empowering, breakthrough stories overall. And the conference is coming up in March. The conference will be March 20th through the 22nd. And for all of you that have had the opportunity to buy the book during the pre-launch, thanks to those that have bought when I was doing the pre-launch promotion. Actually, we have 2 days left in the pre-launch sales. Some of you, those of you that didn't buy don't know. Those of you that have bought already do know that even though you thought you were just buying a book, you actually get mentioned in the book. You get mentioned in the ebook, but you also get a free ticket to the conference. And in the conference, we'll have networking tables. You'll get to meet people. We'll have vendor tables open like an hour before the conference, where you get to network with hundreds of people that are coming to the conference and meet at the networking tables virtually, to meet other people and share your knowledge and speak with them and stuff too. Is multiple people will be speaking. We'll have keynote speakers. It's going to be a huge thing. You can come in and out as you want to with your passwords. So you not only bought a book, you bought an event. And you guys will get your passes and stuff closer to the event in a couple of weeks. So you didn't only buy a book, you bought an event.
Yes, I bought 2 events then. If that's the case, I got 2 events.
You bought 2 books. You did. That's right. And but like I say, so for anyone who's interested, I think Rodney has the information. We still have 2 days left on pre-sale. So those that are interested to still want to buy the book and still actually get registered for the conference, 2 days left on those sales. Otherwise, we'll be opening up registration this weekend for the conference itself to register for the event for this weekend. But so that's what that's about. I will also be doing a presentation and a couple of workshops at the conference as well, as will the other participants and the other co-authors at the book. We also have some additional keynote speakers that will be there that aren't in the book, but are also special keynote speakers that will be speaking, just at the conference as well. So it's going to be huge. Yeah.
That's awesome. That's awesome. 2 days left, guys. You guys have not missed it. So we brought her on right on time. Yeah. So if you guys are interested, the links are in the bio. All you have to do is purchase the book within either today or tomorrow, right? Is that right? Today or tomorrow?
Today or tomorrow. You get the book, plus you still get in the conference. Otherwise, we'll just be doing the conference. Registration starts after Saturday, and I'll have, of course, all my social media will be there. The conference itself will be $27 for regular registration, $47 for VIP. But the book, the book is actually less than that, because the book is just $20 plus shipping and handling. So people that bought their stuff last month, they getting extra stuff and didn't even know it, and so
mm-hmm. See, it pays to be early. That's what it is. That's awesome. I'm so excited about it. I can't wait. I love networking anyway. It's still weird not doing it in person, but we're figuring this thing out kind of. It's weird dropping instant messages in conferences. I'm in a conference now, like I said, the NARAB conference, and I am in people like, hey, I love what you said about, it's weird, but it's the way we're doing it right now. So we'll get through it. Okay. Now, I can't let you get out of here without asking you about the star virus of the year, COVID-19 and the vaccine. Okay. Now, what do you say to people that think we've, gotten over the pandemic already because people are starting to get vaccinated, or those who may just be, look, I'm tired of hearing about COVID. Every time I cut my TV on, all they want to talk about is COVID and these numbers, most numbers and stuff. A lot of people don't even understand them. So they're kind of COVID fatigue. Or some of the people that think maybe snow and ice that we got last week may have killed everything off. All the germs may be dead because of the frozen tundra and stuff. What do you got to say to those people?
Excuse me, got a little sinus going on. Well, the snow and ice may have started me with the sniffles, but the snow and ice has not killed the virus. The virus is still alive and kicking. COVID, unfortunately, has not gone away at all. COVID is still here, unfortunately. Right now, presently, as you all well know, if you don't, we have 3 vaccinations available for access. The Pfizer, which is a 2-dose, the Moderna, which is a 2-dose, and now the Johnson & Johnson, which is a 1-dose. What they are saying is whenever you have access, doesn't matter which one you get, just get one. Me personally, as a physician, that's my stance too. Me personally, letting you know something personally about me. Have I gotten mine? You better believe it. Yes, I have gotten both of my shots. I've gotten the Moderna, my 2 shots. I got my last one. What's the last one? February 23rd, I think. So I've got my vaccinations because of being healthcare worker and immunocompromised, because they're doing it in stages based on occupation, age, and stuff of that nature. And so, I think I was part of phase 1A or 1B. I'm encouraging my own personal family members to get them. Some people don't believe in vaccinations, to each his own. I don't force anybody to do anything. As a physician, all I could do would be recommend. And I would recommend my patients that should to do as such. But again, I can't force anybody to do anything. My own personal family members, you better believe I'm on their butts to get them, and they've been getting them as they should. That is, part of me taking care of my family as best that I can too, is to keep them informed and encourage them as much as I can too. And let's see, what else was the other question? Has the ice killed it? No.
I think that was a great answer. I mean, the other one was just, that we're already over the hump, or that, they're just too tired to even think about COVID.
Yeah. Well, yeah, COVID fatigue. I mean, it's real. It is real. I mean, I'm tired about it too. Some days, I honestly myself get depressed, and COVID fatigue is real. And what I do recommend is for people that you are feeling, overly isolated or depressed or whatever, do your best to reach out to somebody, whether it's a friend, a pastor, a counselor, a doctor, a psychiatrist, psychologist, whatever. If you feel you need support, reach out for it. Do not be at home alone. Just don't, because you are not alone, but fatigue is real. The depression is real, and we don't want you to harm yourself, to harm anyone else.
Absolutely.
Absolutely not. We want you to come over on the other side of all of this when all is said and done.
Most definitely. Help them find the sunlight,
Yes,
the sunshine,
yes,
like we got in Memphis today,
Mm-hmm. I'm jealous.
It's not that bad out there, I'm sure. I know it's still in Oklahoma, right?
Yeah, it's just cold. Sun was out, but it wasn't emanating any heat, just cold.
A lot of pipes bursting in Oklahoma, I heard, though.
Yeah, thank God. So yes.
So good. Okay. Now, since everyone's getting vaccinated, do you think it's important for companies still to kind of approach their business in a more, I guess, I don't want to say sanitary, because you would hope people were doing that before the pandemic, right? But the kind of COVID kind of precautions that most businesses are taking, do you think that's something that still needs to take place? And do you offer any kind of services to companies to make sure that they're conducting business safely, or any other valuable training for other companies or organizations or associations?
Well, as far as just companies in general, you mean like restaurants or companies open to the public? I would still recommend, because CDC guidelines at this point is still recommending that people do follow all those precautions as far as wearing masks, sanitizing and things of that nature. So that all of those things should still be done and, in alignment, as far as like transportation with the vehicles, like the buses and the airplanes and things of that nature. So all of that still needs to be done, because like I said earlier, COVID is still, rampant. It's still around. They're still having new, albeit slow, mutations. It hasn't gone, unfortunately, anywhere at this point. It's just that vaccinations have now been developed. The virus itself is still alive and thriving, unfortunately, and kicking. So all of those things that they were recommending to be done should still be done. I personally am surprised that some states now, I think the latest reported were 7 states are starting to go a bit lax in their precautions. Hey,
that's true.
Teach his own. I'm staying my butt inside as much as I still can. Yeah. But yeah, I don't understand that. So because, like I said, nothing has changed in regards to the virus and in regards to its aggressiveness and what it still is doing to people. So yeah, businesses should still be doing all that according to all CDC guidelines. Now, as far as what I offer with my health consulting services, I do education as far as along the lines of health and wellness. So what I do, pretty much is I serve as a wellness facilitator. A lot of times when people have wellness programs where they want teaching and education on anything in regards to their health and wellness program for their employees, stress management, COVID education. I can come in and do seminars, well, now virtually, workshops on COVID, stress management, coping with stress, and things of that nature, any type of education. Now, as far as coming in and assessing the cleanliness of the actual, no, because there are companies that do that. They do.
Are they like physician like services like that? Like doctors?
There are physician services like that, but there are like air particleization companies that do that. Those usually like HVAC companies. The companies that are related to HVAC companies that can have machinery that can measure that type of stuff. So I know of companies that can do that, but I don't do that type of thing. I do education.
Absolutely.
For the employees and for the company, as far as coping with the stressors, coping with the issues of health that the employees have to do. And a lot of that deals with the health and wellness program. Like most companies have health and wellness programs, but they really don't do much with them. If you're wanting to do something with your health and wellness program, other than check the box and say that you have one, call me in. I'll allow you to utilize it. I will actually bring your health and wellness program to life, which will actually then be a benefit to your employees because they will learn something from the health and wellness issues that they have. It'll help make them be a bit more productive, as well as educate them on, the health and wellness issues that they are actually dealing with,
Absolutely. Absolutely. Mm-hmm. Okay. I want to shift gears a little bit here. Sure. So I'm kind of a foodie, and you're originally from Louisiana, right?
Right.
All right. So you kind of well traveled, let's see. So I have some rapid fire food questions I wanted to just ask. And these are all the no right or wrongs. It's just your opinion, but some of them may have some wrong answers, but we'll see how you do here. You willing to play?
Yeah, I'm not good with games, but let's see what you're talking about.
All right. Let's see. Out of all your travels, what city, state, or place has the best tasting food?
Best tasting food?
Just
come on now. Louisiana, of course.
Don't say that. The whole state, though, you're gonna give it to the whole state? You can't even give it a city in the state?
A city. Well, it all depends.
What you want, see?
Yeah, it all depends on what you want. Like if you're talking about oysters, then you like talking about coastal. So we're talking like New Orleans type of thing. I'm biased. If I'm saying gumbo, then I'm staying home. So more like Baton Rouge area for gumbo. If you're talking about jambalaya, then we're talking about Acadiana country, maybe like Lafayette, something like that. So it all depends, So then I can move into the city stuff. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. You a crawfish girl?
I'm really not. I'm more of a shrimp girl. Yeah, I'm more shrimp than crawfish. Yeah.
I'm with you on that one. All right, number 2. King cake or any other dessert?
This year was king cake. I was feeding king cake because I hadn't had one in a while. And so it was king cake this year. And I think coronavirus had something to do with it.
All right. I just knew I was gonna get you to trade on a Louisiana thing right now.
No. My all-time favorite dessert is lemon icebox pie.
Okay.
All right. Dessert, lemon icebox pie. But it was king cake this year, let me tell you. Okay, yeah. Because of that, and because I think I was rebelling because there was no Mardi Gras this year because of COVID.
Yeah, that was kind of sad.
That's my pushback. Yeah.
I got you. That makes sense though. Beignets or funnel cake?
Beignets. Funnel cake. What?
Hey, that's my thing. I didn't even know what a beignet was until like 2 years ago. So, okay, let's see. What's the next one? Okay, the spiciest food you've ever had.
Oh, spicy.
Where were
you? The spiciest food. India. India, yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Actual India, not like Indian food. You were in India. Yeah. I believe that. I don't even have to question that one. My last one was going to be best seafood, but I see that you're trying to play it to the chest with the home team today. So So instead, I'm going to ask you who you feel has the best barbecue.
Barbecue. Okay. Yeah, I'll get that to Memphis. I'll get that to Memphis.
Yeah, all right, there we go. All right,
Yeah,
now we can shut the show down after that.
I'll get that to Memphis. I'll get that to Memphis, and I will. But I prefer places in Memphis that have wet barbecue because I prefer wet than the dry rub.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I prefer the wet, but they do have places. I know y'all have some serious dry rub places there, but I'm just more of a wet barbecue fan versus a dry rub. Mm-hmm.
All right.
Oh yeah, but yeah.
That's good. I knew Memphis was gonna win one of these questions.
Memphis got the barbecue down, and you go to places like Kansas that we talk like, what? No.
Yeah.
What?
Oh, they definitely think that their barbecue is something superior.
When other places try to say they have better barbecue than Memphis, I don't understand that at all. Yeah.
Me either. Yeah. They don't have barbecue fest, so how could that even be possible?
I don't get it.
All right. So speaking on kind of traveling and food, what's the healthiest place you ever visited? Food, activity, like all of that, the whole shebang. Not just they eat healthy, but they also active and
Now I'm gonna tell you, and this is just from most recent travel. I haven't traveled in a while. I miss traveling. I will be so glad when the pandemic is over. I miss traveling, but most recently, like right before, like the fall. Was it fall of 2019? Yeah, right before the pandemic. I went to Quito, Ecuador, and I saw and I looked and I was all over, because it was like half mission trip and then I did a little sightseeing after that. And so we were like all over in the mountains, just all over. And I saw not one, and I was looking intentionally. I saw not one obese person in Quito, Ecuador, not one.
Wow.
And it was like fresh everything. All the food was fresh. Like you're talking fresh eggs, like literally you're going picking the eggs from under the chickens. We're talking fresh milk, fresh cheese. We're talking mountains. Like I came back because this was still when I was in Memphis. I'm like, if I see another step, it's in mountains, we're talking like 3,000, 5,000 elevations. Literally, like I climbed mountains in Ecuador, literal mountains. Like, and I came back. Okay, if I see another hill, another step, I came back. I'm like, I'm so sick of a hill and a step. Oh my Jesus. Yeah. I'm like, clearly it's everything. It's between the fresh food, it's all the walking, the mountains. Everybody's so fit because you gotta be, because everything is up. I'm like, did I just go up coming down? It was.
Oh, that's hilarious.
It was something. Yeah, it was something. So I mean, you've got to be fit. Everybody's fit. I mean, we're talking. One of our tour guides was like this 80-year-old woman, and she was just boom, we're talking up mountain, just boom, like not missing a beat, just going. I'm like, she is 80, and she is making me feel so bad. She's like 80. It's
amazing if activity is just a normal part of your life. How the extraordinary just becomes, hey, this is what I do every day.
It's their norm. It was like not one obese person.
That's amazing.
Yeah,
that's amazing. There.
So Quito, Ecuador got us beat in America.
Well, a lot of places got us beat, but we're not. With that, this has been great. I really appreciate you spending this time with me. Any final words you'd like to leave us with, and let the people know your social media and where they can find you one more time?
Sure. So I'm on Instagram at Dr. Teresa or at TW Med Consulting. I'm on Facebook at TW Med Consulting, LinkedIn, TW Med Consulting, TW Med Consulting. That's the easiest place. The books are on Amazon or on the website, your 1-month prescription there. I think he has them on the other link. If you want the breakthroughs, I think he had that one posted too. You can go to Dr. Teresa dot, what is that one? thebookofbreakthroughs.com. Dr. Teresa dot thebookofbreakthroughs.com to get that book. Like I said, that one's only on pre-sale for 2 more days, where if you buy the book, you also get instant registration for the conference that's coming up March 21st through March 20th through the 22nd. Awesome conference coming up. It'll be virtual conference. You get networking and all kinds of great things for that too. Also, if you looked on LinkedIn, I will be doing a coping with stress webinar, popcorn series. It'll be also on my Facebook and LinkedIn accounts coming up March 12th. So if you want to register for that, I think it's just $10. It's a virtual webinar for March 12th. So that's the next event I have coming up. It's the popcorn series through one of the groups I'm affiliated with here in Tulsa. So feel free to sign up for that one if you're looking for some stress management techniques as well. We'll be doing Q&A on that too. And I think that's all I can think of right now. It's been fun. Yeah.
And look, that's all you can think of. A whole bucket full of great stuff right there. But I really appreciate it again. Thank you, Dr. Woodard, for coming on. Thank you for your time. And hopefully we can do this again.
Yeah. Let's do it. Make it happen.
Sounds good. Thanks again.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Thanks. I want to say thank you again to Dr. Woodard. This has been very, very informative. I am really extremely impressed by everything that she has to offer. The information in her books are just simple ideas to make sure that you are taking care of yourself, your body. That way you could be here longer for your family, your friends, your loved ones. And that's what this is really all about. We're here to help guide you with health, wealth, and growth. Today was heavy on the health part of it. I understand, but in this environment that we're in, just feels that it's necessary to talk about a little bit, right? So I'm so grateful for Dr. Woodard to come on. And I just want to leave you guys with this. These are some different times that we're in. Make sure that in all that you guys are doing, that you are diligent in everything and intentional. This goes for your finances, your health, anything that you have planned. Be intentional, be deliberate, okay? The title of the show is Prevention is Paramount. Do the things in advance to make sure that you're not in bad health financially, health-wise, spiritually. You can prevent a lot of these things by just being active on the front end and having a plan. We talked a little bit about planning today, and it is crucial. It is an absolute crucial part to everything in life. If you don't have a plan for your health, plan for your family, plan for your finances, then you are just a ship without a rudder. Typically, they just go wherever the water takes them. Currents change all the time. So you'll just end up somewhere and wake up one day and wonder how you got there. So put a plan in place. Be intentional. You can prevent a lot of these diseases. You can prevent a lot of these financial setbacks by simply putting in some plans and some preventive maintenance in advance. So again, I want to thank you guys for tuning in tonight. It's always a pleasure. I know you guys missed me last Thursday. I double booked, so I couldn't do the show. But I promise you the consistent information is coming every single Thursday here, 6 o'clock, right here on Tate Talk. Again, where we aim to provide credible information on health, wealth, and growth for regular folks. Until next week, see you guys later.